Hi, this is Winnie Litton, and we are a group of teachers that are going to review Google Classroom. So everybody say hi. Hi. Okay, I want to preface this discussion that this is not a formal in-service. I have not prepared slides for you like I would in the past. I just wanted to quickly make sure you had a good understanding of Google Classroom and how it can help you. So what you want to do is, first thing I need you to do is get on your computer, and I've got a couple people around the room. There's 3 people right here around the room. Make sure that you are in Google Chrome and that you're logged in with your school account. Okay, so you want to be in Google Chrome and logged in with your school account. So for me, if I was going to do that, okay, I can see, this is my Google, and I can see up here in the top right-hand corner my school face. I have a different face for when I'm at home, and that way I know which account I'm on, right? So I use that to see that. You have, remember, I just want to refresh your memory, you have that little waffle in the top right-hand corner, and if you have that waffle in the top right-hand corner, you can see you have access, do you see right here, to Google Classroom, Google Drive. So that's where I always jump off from in my classroom, okay, is from here and from Google Drive. Can you make sure that the person next to you is to this point where they're logged in and they've got the waffle open? Help them along if they are struggling. Hashtag no shame. Hashtag no shame.
None whatsoever.
None whatsoever. Circle of trust. Okay, so within that, I know this is probably fairly intuitive, but we want to go to Google Classroom. So you're going to want to log on to Google Classroom. Now what you see next is going to depend on if you've been here before. Okay? Now, here, can I get your eyes up just for a minute? If this is the first time you've gone into Google Classroom, it is imperative that you log in as a teacher. Because if you log in as a student the first time, you know, to try it out, because I'm going to show you how to join my class and everything like that, you need to make a connection with Google Classroom that says, I am a teacher. So if you haven't made that connection, there's only a huge sign right there. If you haven't made that connection before, can you check to see if your neighbor is on and it looks something similar to this, where you could potentially have some classrooms there? Anybody need help with that? We're all good? Okay, now, the next thing is the debate sometimes people have. They might say, I just want to make an Algebra 1 classroom and have everybody log on to that. I'm going to tell you, don't do that, okay? Don't do that, and the reason why you don't want to do that is every one of you don't want to have like a world history Google Classroom and you disseminate, because you will find, I promise you, it is super helpful to have it by period, because you will disseminate assignments and you will collect them and they'll all be together, period 1, period 2, period 3, period 4. Okay? Now, I have done several different ways to create classrooms. This is where I'm at right now. I have found this to be the most helpful, and the reason is because I've been doing Google Classroom for years. I don't have to make a new post. I can reuse a post I used the last year. I do it all the time. So it's easier for me to find a post and reuse it if I've labeled the year and whether it's fall or spring. Because then I can go, oh, I want to go, like next year, I'll go into spring 2019-20 and find an assignment I'm posting this year, and I'll just reuse it. So I don't have to type anything up. It'll put the same documents up there, so I don't have to do it again. So that's why I would say when you generate your classes, you want to be really specific on how you generate that. Now, before I have you generate a class...
Attention all students, if you want to get out of the rain, it is drizzling now, the pavilion is open. Again, the pavilion is open for any students wanting to get out of the drizzling rain. Thank you.
Okay, so before you create a class, I want to show you up here in this top right-hand corner to see the little plus. Don't do it yet, okay? But it says join a class or create a class whenever you hit that. So I just want to model creating a class for you first, and then we'll have you practice, okay? So I'm going to hit create a class. So now here's my class name. I'm going to be super, super specific. So I'm going to put some sort of period that's in there, like this will be period 4.5 because we're partway. Oh, sorry. We will be, maybe my thing's not going to work. Okay, so that's fine. We won't have it work right now. So I would put in here period 4.5. I don't really put anything in for section because I never look at that. And then the next thing where it says subject, that's where I put in here the semester that I'm at. So this would be spring 2019-2020. And then you can put your room number in there if you want to, but if you can see from up here how I label mine, I do it so I can find it, it comes up in a row. So I do like 01 AP Bio, then the next thing I put in there is the semester that I'm at. And then once you create that class, and I'm sad that that's not working right now, so I can show you this. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it on my computer.
And while you're doing that, Winnie, it looks like some of you have gotten your classes preloaded from the district. Okay, so.
But could it be fall or it's fall?
It is fall.
Yeah, so you don't, so don't.
You do want to create your own with the plus sign. Okay, so if right now you see a bunch of blue accept buttons, you would just want to ignore those because they're from the fall and you're going to have a spring roster.
Yeah, so don't do that. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do this as period. I just would put 04. I'm going to put 45 so I'm not confused. Okay, hang on just 1 second. And then I'm going to label it teacher classroom. And then I'm going to come in here and say it's spring 2019-20. Okay, now I don't think it makes any difference if you put it on the subjects either. I think it's going to come up the same way. Yeah, and so I'm just going to hit create. Super fast today. Okay, so now I have my teacher classroom. Now, as soon as it comes up, can I get your eyes up here just for a minute so I can run through everything and then you can go create all your classes you want. I just want to show you everything and then we'll help you with it. Couple things you want to be aware of. Here, you'll see where it came up. Do you see where it says class code? So you can display this class code. If you don't like the class code, if it comes up weird, like a weird combination, sometimes you can change it if you want to change it. You would go into the people section, I believe it is, but you can edit that if you want to. I'm not going to. I think it's settings. Yeah, settings. Okay, I'm not even, just leave it as it is right now. What I do, and which you're welcome to make a copy of, is on my homepage so that students have access to it. I make a Google Doc, and it is all my periods and their class codes. And then I just put that up there. Some person from a different site, from a different school, they can't go in because it only works under the umbrella of our school. Okay? Now, if you go to my website, and this is on my homepage, you can open this document, you can copy it, and just change it out for your codes. Okay? And if you need help posting it, I'm happy to help you post it. Yes?
That's because you have a Google website, right? So like I use School Wires, if I put that code on that's open to the public, anybody could get.
This is open to the public.
Oh,
My website's open to the public.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything that you see on here, everybody can see. I change certain things. Just so you know, you can do that too. I have all my documents that are forward-facing documents. Anybody can access those, but then I can have a folder of just documents and resources that only students can see. Anybody within the Oak Park can see. So you can change what's seen by whom. Okay, but I digress. Okay, so when you do this, what I do is I usually go like this, and then I take a screenshot of it and I paste it into a document because it will have the period on there. I just made that document so it would be easier for other people to see. Okay, so that's the key part. That's how you get your kids connected. Now, if they are not paying attention and they join your third period class when they should join their first period, then you have to say, hey, unenroll yourself and enroll yourself in the right one, okay? And you don't need to worry about the district pushing it out through Clever or anything like that. I never do that. I just give them the code. I might write the code on my board if I want to, or when they come to class next time, you just open it up, and you open it up from your point of view, and you go like this and say, everybody join right now. You know, that's the easiest way, is just to get them to join. Okay, then from there, you have the stream. In the stream, when you are in the stream, you can post things like, I might do a reminder in the stream. It's not something where you put an assignment, but if you wanted to, you could say, here, and you could spell it correctly, here is your calendar, okay? Now, I can choose in one location, I can choose, and I can go here and I can say, I want it, and click all the class periods I want it to have. Whoever wants to have it, okay? So I click which classes I want to have. If you look here at students, I can have it do all students, or if I had you join this class, then I could pick which one of you I wanted to actually see it. So you could put something in the stream that everybody can see or just a few kids can see. I don't typically put assignments here. I'll just tell them, hey, I put it in the stream for you, like something that might be helpful, like how to do an assignment or things like that. You know, I just put it in the stream for them. Now, when you want to add something to the stream, you go like this and you can choose. Is this a link that you have? It could be a website that you want them to go to. It could be something out of your Google Drive. It could be a PDF file. So it could be something that is not in Google Docs, that's something you took a picture of. You can attach anything you want to. You can put a video here. Let's say you want them to watch an assignment. You go to YouTube, you capture the link, you post that link in there. So, yes?
Okay, speaking of video, does it have to be a YouTube video, or can it be a quick?
If you have a link to it, let's say it's some video that you have in your classroom that you show.
Yeah.
If it's in your Google Drive, if you save it into your, all you have to do is drag it into your Google Drive. It now has.
So a quick time video.
Yes.
Drag it
So
in.
yeah.
You can do the file too.
Yeah, or you can do it as a file if it's on your
It can be
folder.
Any length. That was the next question.
Yes, any length, anything. Okay. So then, if I look here in my Google Drive, I might want to put in this hyperdoc, and I can now post it. And now they will see this hyperdoc in the stream, and it could be just a set of instructions I want you to do. I want you to read chapter 7, and then I want you to answer the questions at the end, and those could be your quiz questions. You know what I mean? It could just be an informative thing. And as long as it's in Google Drive, they click on it and they have access to it. Okay? That is purely informational. Okay? That's a one-way street. Now, they could comment on it if you allow that in your settings. I don't want to dialogue with them there, so I don't really, I mean, I think I have it set that way, but I don't want to have anything there. So this is an example of a hyperdoc. This is kind of a more complex one in AP, but you can see here, I use a hyperdoc, and all a hyperdoc is like, it's like a website with links in it, right? But I have a Google Doc. These are my classroom activities. Here I have supportive material and things they can go to. You don't understand it from me? Go to Khan Academy. Go to this Bozeman. Go to this site. This is something I do all the time, so I don't want you to think, oh my God, I have to have a hyperdoc like that. Don't think that. That's just my thing, right? So, but I put resources for them. Here, I put articles I want them to read. Career choices related to the topic, NGSS, sustainability things. So I put it all, for me, this is one document, like one ring to rule them all. So for AP, this is their whole unit located on one thing. Okay? And I do that for honors and I do that for AP because it's helpful for me. Don't feel like that's something you need to do, obviously. Classwork. Okay? assigning classwork here. Now, to show you what this might look like, I'm going to go into one of my classes so you can see it. So here in the stream, I had a list of debrief questions that they were going to need to do as homework. So I just PDF'd it and put it in here in case they missed class, then they had access to it. In the stream, anything I post will automatically go into their stream. So when I put something in the stream, if they've connected their school email to it, which it is, they'll get a reminder, oh, you got to do this. Okay? Now, my classwork, you can see, is broken down by unit. So I highly recommend, if you assign something and it is under some unit umbrella, that you name it. In AP, these are their units, so this is all underneath that. So whatever assignment they might have. So here is a Google form. And so I gave the instructions. I attached the Google form. I collect that data. I make all my Google forms self-grading. And so we can have a whole discussion about Google Forms and how you do Google Forms, because that is super easy. I get a spreadsheet with their scores. I'm done. No discussion. Okay, so that can be super helpful. So when you're in your classwork, if I want to create an assignment, and I'll go back into our class. If I want to create an assignment, I go create. Now I can make it just regular assignment. I can make it a quiz, like a Google form if I want to. I can ask them a question that they have to respond to. I can attach some material. Do you see where it says reuse post? This is, if I want to reuse a post, I can go back into classes from last year. Here is spring 2018-19 AP Bio. I can go into there, and here are all my assignments from spring 2018-19, and I can, yes or no, are you planning to come to the practice exam? And I can reuse that post. It's going to pop up, and I asked basically a question that they had to respond yes or no to. So I can ask that question, I can post it, I can make it ungraded or graded, I can assign a due date to it. So that's one way where you can reuse it. If I don't want to do that, let's see.
Winnie, real quick, just
yes.
to chime in, if you do reuse something and there are documents that you posted from the year prior, just make sure if you have any dates, that you fix those dates.
Yes.
Because then kids will be like, wait, what? This is
Yes.
Yeah,
Fix the dates. So if I'm just going to straight up create an assignment, I'm going to say learn Google Classroom. I might give them real and specific instructions, how many people you can work with, what my expectation is. I can then add an assignment to it. I can pick it from my Google Drive, some document that I have made, and I'm trying to see if I can find something I've made. I don't know what this is, but I'm just going to put it in here. Okay, I can attach it. I can, if I want to, I can tell them how many points it is, or I can not, and I can put in here the topic. So the topic is what I was telling you about, because that way it'll organize everything by whatever unit you're on. So I can create a topic, and that topic could be Unit 5 elections. Let's say I'm having something on elections. If I have a rubric for how I'm grading this, like if you have presentations they're going to do and you give them a rubric, you can attach a rubric, or you can create a rubric here, or you can make it be part of your document. You can assign your due date. I want it to be on the 25th, and it needs to be in by 8:29 a.m. And this is going to be worth 25 points. I want all students to do it. Assign.
Ooh, and when you talk about the file options too.
The view file versus.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so now this part is in here. Okay, now it's here. Now, the way mine defaults, and you can decide how you want to do it. Okay, my assignments, when I do it, if I'm going to bring this one in so you can see it, edit. Okay, If it's a Google form, it'll just open up for them. If it is a Google document, sorry, let me find investigation 3. Here we go. So this, I gave them a lab map on what they needed to do with the lab. Now, you can't tell from right here how I set it up. So I'm going to go into edit. So when I attached it, do you see what it says right here? Student can view file. That means they can only look at it. So if there's something you only want them to look at, that's what they do. But the way I train my students, I make every single one they can only look at it. And then they have to make a copy of it in order to use it. And when they make a copy of it, it puts their name on it. So I don't ever, some people like to do it, distribute one to every student. I don't. I want to teach them, when you see a Google Doc, you make a copy of it. I might give them naming instructions because maybe they're working with a team. So I want them to rename it last name, first initial, or however your protocol is, right? And so they have to make a copy of it. And then they have to submit it in that way. But if you want to make every child have a copy, you do it whatever works best for you. Now we have some Google Classroom users in here. Mr. Sloan, Dave, how do you do it?
Yes, I'm learning. I have been doing the make a copy for all a lot, but over time I realized that's not a really good idea, because then when you go to grade it, you've got two things you're looking at. It's like, right, which one do I open to grade? And so I would suggest not doing it that way. Don't do it the way I do it.
Do it my way.
Yeah. That way you only have one, you open it up, you have one document, and you know that's when you click on to open to grade. Otherwise you gotta choose.
For English, because Turnitin.com is usually how we submit, so I will make a copy because they're not submitting to Classroom, they're actually submitting to
Right.
Turnitin.
But if you didn't, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You could still teach them to make a copy, because they'll run into that a lot.
Right.
Now, here's something, I know I'm going to reach the threshold of what you can accept information-wise, but you need to hear this, okay? You got to hear this. When you do group work, and I do group work all the time, okay? So, for instance, if I want to view this assignment right here, you can see 9 turned it in and all these are missing. They worked as groups, so I don't care that they are missing. So let's pick somebody. I know, Luke Bowman, okay? So this is their lab that I gave them to do. And so they had to make a copy and they had to do certain things, whatever, here's their lab, okay? Whoever opens it, and they are really good at this, by the way, for the most part, they know this. So don't let them abuse you with this, because I'll show you a workaround, like if they try to cheat, okay? So if I open it and share it with Mr. Creason, because he and I are doing the group project together, I share it. Mr. Creason cannot turn it in, because who owns the document? The person that opened it and shared it. So whoever opens it and shares it collaboratively, they're the keeper of the document. They're the child who has to turn it in. Okay, because your other, like, let's say I go to practice and you stayed after school to work on it, you try to turn it in, it won't turn in. The reason is you don't own it. I shared it with you. And so that's sometimes where kids have trouble. And so you just want to remind them, if you open it and share it, you own it, and it's your responsibility to turn it in. Now, I will be able to see right here who contributed in Luke's group. Okay, so all I need to go is to version history. Okay, so here, do you see where it says, let's see, it's file. Under file, and by the way, I'm recording all of this, so you can rewatch this whenever you want to when you get to this. I go to version history. So I will go to see version history. All right, I can tell exactly. Here's Luke, he opened it, right? And then I can't see how they've crossed out, delete all my prompts, because that's what I told them to do. I can hit this little down arrow right here, and I can see exactly what each one of these students did. So when I look at this, I can see all of these children contributed to this group project, okay? And I can see exactly who did what. Now, I'll give you an example of this, is Mr. Sloan was grading a lab. It was a group lab. He opened it up and he said, hey, how do I do the, and I showed him version history. There was one name and the whole thing was colored one color. What does that tell you? Somebody made a copy and what did they do? Bing! They pasted it. There was only one action. Okay? Here I can see there's a lot of action going on here. I know all these children and exactly how they contribute to this project and what time they contributed. I know exactly when they submitted it. And I call this digital fingerprints. And I will tell them, if you're in a team, I need to see everybody's digital fingerprints all over it. If I see 2 people of the teams, like he graded a lab, there were like 4 people in the group, but only 2 people's names, only those 2 people get the score. Because they're the only ones who contributed to the assignment. You can't manufacture it, you can't lie about it. And so you can see exactly when they turned it in. If you want to give them a score for it on here, like I did, I gave them their score right here. But when the original assignment had the rubric embedded in the document, so I didn't attach a separate rubric because I just embedded it in the original document itself. They know how it's going to be graded. Okay? So, right off the bat, any initial questions you have with the process? Okay, so the only other thing I would tell you is, and you can return it to them when you're done grading, you just hit return, or you can return them all in one fell swoop if you want to. You can put their scores right here, okay? Yes?
When we do add a class eventually,
Yes.
how will our students be linked to that class?
Okay, anybody want to answer that instead of me? How will her students be linked to that one class?
Because right now I only have first semester.
Wait, how?
You can get rid of your first semester ones and add your own new ones.
Yeah, so,
When they do.
okay, how do you link your students to your Google Classroom? You give them the code, and then they will log in.
Now, I'm thinking, if we happen to not see our kids again.
Then you would put it on your website.
Or Parent Square or something like that.
Yeah, you could use Parent Square or a website.
And you can invite individual students also.
Yeah, but I'm not going to type in all their emails.
No, but I started mine today and I had 2 absent kids and I just sent invites to them.
Oh, okay, that's a good idea. Now, do you see this class? I don't want this class anymore, so I just double. Do you see where it says move, edit, copy, archive? Now I'm just going to archive it. So my classes from first semester, I've all archived. I don't even see them anymore on my screen. Okay? Yes?
Where do we find your video for this?
Oh, I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to load it on my YouTube, and I'm going to create a link for it, and I'm going to send it to you.
So you'll send it to us at our
School.
Gmail account?
Yep. I'll send this video to you. Okay? Why don't you all try to just create one class right now, if you haven't done that already, and we'll go around and help. Are there any other questions you might have?
I've got
Okay.
a test to go.
Okay. So you guys are awesome, and I hope you have a great day.